Hello, good afternoon. I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Franqua Bedell, known as Coach Q. He's been a program a few times at our Rotary Club, at the Odessa Rotary Club, and he's become a friend of our club. And so I'm honored to introduce him here. He's the times that he has spoken, he is inspirational and engaging, so I know you'll enjoy it. Coach Q is a coach, a speaker, a trainer, and a four-time author. He is currently the head coach for the Odessa College women's basketball team, who he led in his third season to a 30-5 record. They won the conference championship and made it to the Elite Eight for the national conference. He was also named Texas Association of Basketball Coaches 2-year Coach of the Year. So very accomplished. Welcome, Dr. Q.
Thank you so much. Hello, how are you all doing today? Well, I hear Rotary is about good people, food, right? And if we could basically take a sandwich and change the world, I think the Rotary's already got it figured out. Because you guys do a great job of eating. Every time I've been to a Rotary meeting, food is involved. And so that is a blessing. I want to say thank you to Kim and the chapter for allowing me to be here today. I'm very excited. When I look back on my experiences, I was telling Miss Kim today that the Rotary has been part of the reason why I'm in front of you right now. I was a special ed kid that no one thought that would make it this far, and I'm standing before you through adversity because of people like you who had a hand in really, truly changing my life. I got a Rotary scholarship in 1995. I'm dating myself. In 1995, I got to be a part of American Boys Legion. I was the governor of Boys State of Arkansas, and it was one of the most reviving experiences of my life. And you talk about civil, right? So I want to talk about civil connection, all right? We want to connect. As I look through this room, right, we're all connected in some form or fashion. And all I see is doors. And as my son is a 6-year-old and he loves Minecraft, I still don't understand it, but he loves Minecrafts, and you know, we watch Minecrafts and there's the portal. He says, "Daddy, there's the portal," and I think about this portal. And for non-Minecraft people, it's a door of access, right? So I'm going to do a little activity with you real quick. I'm going to name out 2 names, and if you know these people, I just want you to raise your hand, okay? Miss Kim, Mr. Hank, and Mr. Dick Silva. If you know those people, raise your hand. Right? So you have your hand up. If you see the people, if you look around, you see people with their hand up. If you know any of these people that got their hands up, raise your hand. Okay? Now, at some point, 3 people are going to allow me a door access to this whole entire room. And I think we forget about that. I think we forget about what connections truly are. We're so wrapped up in social media. We're so wrapped up in Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. We forget the basic human thing is to look someone in the eye and say, "Hello, how are you? I love your shoes. I love your lipstick. I love your hair." Like, just connecting, the basic fundamental of really, truly connecting with people. I think we lose that in what we're doing in society today. So I talk about this with my team all the time, all right? The door of access. A is access, obviously, the door of access. A plus P plus O, right? A plus C equals O. Access, proximity, right? Connection, and then opportunity. Access, proximity, connection, opportunity. So much like what you saw earlier, we share that E plus R equals O. My assistant coach in the back, we talk to that. We talk about our girls all the time about that. And so I'm big on acronyms. I want to tell you about access. You adore access. All these doors of access are in front of you. Now, how do we get to that? It's through proximity, right? I cannot connect with something or anything that I'm avoiding or don't understand. I cannot connect. So the one thing about the Rotary that I've fell in love with is the connection piece. And what is the best way to connect? It's bringing people together through food. Right? It's bringing people together through music. My dad was a professional musician, and I saw what music did. He played country rock music for 13 years, and it moved us to Arkansas. And so I got to be around some of the most iconic country music people in the world. And I'll tell you this, I tell people this all the time. I love all types of music, but there's nothing like country music fans. Those are the best fans in the world. Nothing like country music fans. Regardless if Naomi Judd or Garth Brooks are putting anything out in the last 10 years, if they show up in Odessa, everybody's coming, right? Everybody's coming. So connection, but you have to be in proximity to the door. You have to be in proximity to the door. And if you're in proximity to the door, you allow that door to open, and then you have the opportunity to connect. And what is connection? What is true connection? What is true connection? And I just want you to take just your thought of it. True connection is truly, truly trying to build something special, trying to build a relationship with the person that's in front of you. My assistant coaches and my wife, they hate going out with me. We go to the mall. Nobody wants to go with me. You talk too much. You stop everybody. You ask questions. We're at a restaurant, and my wife tells me we're going on date night tonight, and we have a 6-year-old, so that is like a great thing. We don't get that too often. But we go to dinner, and she's like, all right, here's the plan. Here's the deal. You cannot recruit. Because everything you do is recruiting. You cannot recruit. So if the waitress is tall or anybody's tall you cannot ask them, do they have a daughter? You know? But connection is key. Connection is key, right? I open up, you open up, and it's all through questions. For me, it's all through questions. Because anyone sitting next to me, I'm going to ask you, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, where are you from? Right? Where are you from? Because that tells me something basic. Because at some point through coaching, I've been all over the world, and I'm going to connect in some form or fashion. Then I'm going to ask you, what sort of work do you do? Because it's some form, you're going to teach me something. Or I'm going to find out something about you that is going to be valuable to me. The weirdest thing, it happened last season. We're in the airport, we're heading to Utah, and we are on a 19-game winning streak. Like we are done well from the year before, and we're going into a 9-game winning streak going into the next season, and we're going to go play Utah, Salt Lake Community College in Utah, and we're at the airport, and I sit in front of this man, and he looks at me, and he goes, you got all these women with you? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he goes, what do you do? I said, well, I'm the women's basketball coach. And he goes, you're by yourself. I go, no, I'm not. I got 2 assistants. He said, but they're women too. I was like, well, yeah, I'll probably get teamed up on, but that's okay. That's okay. We do a good job. And so we started connecting. And I asked him, said, what sort of work do you do? He says, well, I'm retired. And I go, okay, what is retirement like? And he's like, really boring. I said, well, where are you coming from? He goes, I'm coming from my daughter's house and seeing the family. And I was like, well, great. How did that go for you? He's like, well, man, we just lost my wife, and so it was kind of the getaway and really recharge, kind of revamp. And so my assistants are sitting over there, and we started talking, and I'm like, man, I was like, I hate that, but, you know, I hope that everything is well. Like, I hope you're getting better from this, and I hope that you were able to recharge. I said, do you mind me asking, how did you lose your wife? He said, due to cancer. I'm like, I said, man, I can relate. I lost my mother to cancer. And we connected. And we started talking. And I won't go through the whole conversation, but the next thing you know, we're both there crying in the airport. And as you know, I tell people all the time, there's nothing like human connection. That is the most important thing in the world. It is the key to survival. You can do a lot of things in life, but you cannot live without human connection. I mean, everyone's seen Castaway, right? I mean, the volleyball. I mean, Wilson. I don't know if you can live with Wilson, right? Wilson cannot give you that human connection that you need. And through connection is O. That connection gave me an opportunity to really get a gentleman to open up, share, and have some release. But opportunity is just not about money, fame, what you can get. Opportunity is about receiving sometimes, about receiving and giving. Giving, the opportunity to give something to someone, something special, and that's attention, and that's love. And as I look at this area, and you know, I came to Odessa, and I was getting out of coaching, and a friend was like, man, I think this is the place that you could really thrive in. And I'm like, man, I'm done with this stuff. I'm tired of coaching. And he's like, no, just give it a chance. And I came to Odessa, and I remember we drove from Springfield, Missouri, with a little one and my wife, because my wife wanted to see it, and we drive straight through the night. We come here, we stay at the Elegante. I said, babe, I'm going to go, because every interview, I go to the campus the night before, and I walk the campus, and I pray, God, put me where you want me to be. And I looked at the opportunity, and it was great. And then a gust of wind of dust blew me in the face. And I got back, and I'm like, she's like, what did you think? I said, man, campus is beautiful, but I got a mouthful of dust in my mouth. But this place is special. I've been here 5 years. And Odessa College has given me the opportunity to finish my doctorate degree. It's given me thank you, because it was hard. It's given me the opportunity to meet some amazing people. And the one thing that you hear is, man, there's Midland and there's Odessa. No, it's just Midland. Odessa's way better. Way better than me. Way better. Because I got to play against Midland College. So there's a little rivalry there, but way better. But the area as a whole, Midland and Odessa, has been beautiful to me and my family. And it's given us opportunity to grow, to build. It's been a place for my son to build relationships, and it's been absolutely amazing. But you cannot have these opportunities without the gift of access, without proximity to greatness. And being in this room, you have already showed what you do for this community and the communities that are in front of you. And those communities are generations. This is the new community right here that you have sitting in front of you, right? And they're the most important community, because they're going to be the leaders that take us to the next level. They're going to be the leaders that take us to the next stage. They're going to be our next doctors, lawyers, physicians, teachers, next college presidents. And right before you, I challenge you to keep this going. There should be more people in this room. And I challenge you all right here, you all at Texas Tech, correct? Right? We've got a few kids there, so is it Guns Up or something like that? Right? There we go. right? I challenge you to keep this thing going, to keep the spirit of this civilness going, the connection. It is important. So I leave you with this, right? I heard this story, and it's really funny, but it gets you to thinking about our choices and the things that we do. So this gentleman's grandmother said, hey, you got two choices in life, right? It's either you're healthy or you're sick, okay? And if you're healthy, you ain't nothing to worry about. But if you're sick, you got two things you got to worry about. Whether you get better or things get worse. Well, if things get better, you got nothing to worry about. But if things get worse, right, there's two things you got to worry about. Whether you're going to live or you're going to die. Okay, well, if you live, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you die, you got two things you got to worry about. Okay? Whether you're going to go to heaven or you're going to go to hell. Right? Well, if you go to heaven, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you go to hell, you got two things you got to worry about. Right? Original or extra crispy. And I end on that. Thank y'all for having me.